Cheers, booktube, bookish friends, YouTube. It's Damien, aka Sleepy Reader or Sleepy Book Reader. I'm all confused. And this is a tag video. And so I guess my first tag on this new booktube channel of mine. I don't think I'll be doing tags too often because I don't do a lot of videos. Maybe right now it's been less than one every 10 days. I'm aiming for once a week. So I'm anyway, it's really nice to be tagged, and videos are kind of cool, but I don't think I'll be doing a lot of them in the foreseeable future. We'll see. Maybe it's a good thing to do at the beginning of one's channel. But I really appreciated that Quaint and Curious Volumes tagged me for the 2024 New Year's tag. So I'm very late on this. When it originally came through, I had another tag to do with the comic book community that I gave priority to. And then the weather went all insane. I got trapped on the other coast while visiting my mom. Then I got trapped in Minneapolis. And then I finally got home. So this is my first full day back in the sleepy studio. So yeah, Quaint and Curious Volumes is seems like kind of a cool channel. I think he reads a lot of classics and but a lot of other stuff too, including even the fantasy and science fiction that is so often my path. But and he seems to have a very dry, subtle sense of humor, which I like. So I will definitely be watching more of him in the future. In fact, I just watched, I think, another tag he did, the university tag, which I'm not going to do. Uh, it looked way too hard, and at least I don't think I'm going to do it. I got other things that I want to get to. But this New Year's tag is pretty cool, even though it's kind of late. um, so the first question is, how many books do you plan to read in 2024? And maybe this is the how many books that you read, maybe a thing that I've got to start thinking about now that I'm actually doing a YouTube channel. Um, so I'm gonna take a wild guess and say between 40 and 50. The goal being to maybe finish a book a week, but I don't know if I'll hit that. And that's not counting audiobooks. So I suppose I could check my audiobook stats, but I'm pretty sure that I will finish an audiobook a week, particularly as I'm listening to a bunch of shorter ones lately. So I don't think of that as reading. I do think of them as books, and I feel like I've experienced a book. So I don't know so if you count audiobooks, you might say I expect to read about 80 or 90 books this year. So read that how you may. And then, of course, I'm going to be reading a lot of comic books this year. I generally think I can read about, oh, so I give the peace sign, and then why would this is QuickTime Video? Why would QuickTime Video show? How can I turn this off? Why was QuickTime Video showing me balloons? It's going to do it again? Yes. Okay, this is nuts. I wonder, I would like fireworks. I think there's a way to get fireworks, but I don't know. Oh, and I was doing something. Can you make hearts happen? Yes. Oh my God. This is awful. Why would they stick this in QuickTime Video, where you just want to make a video that you can then later edit? Not that I'm going to edit this one, so you get to see all of that stuff. So where were we? How many books I was going to read? Um, that's not counting all the comic books I'm going to read. I normally read. I guess I should go like this. I normally read 2 comic books a day. But that depends. I mean, it fluctuates. But that makes about 14 comic books a week. Comic books are very short. They can take you anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes to read. Um, but that's a big part of my reading too. Because comic books give you in my opinion, an intensified, uh, concentrated hit of story, because the combination of pictures and words allows a lot to be communicated at once, should the better comic book creators choose to do so. That's one reason why I guess a lot of mangas pass me by, is because they really take their time, which sort of takes away the brain kick that I get from from American style or European style comics. Anyway, way off on a tangent. Um, Name some books that you didn't get to in 2023 but want to make a priority in 2024. So there's a few, I think I've showed them before, or two of them before, but I want to, and maybe this is a bookish New Year's thing. I want to be a little less of a butterfly reader, i.e., oh no, I did I lose my place? Oh no, here's a place. So I'm this far in Beautiful Blood, and I inch through books sometimes. I read a little bit. I'm not DNFing them. Uh, that always sounds so mean. DNF, I DNF you. But I am just procrastinating and flitting from book to book. So I didn't finish this book, and I probably started it in early 2023 and didn't finish it, or mid 2023. So this book, which is the Beautiful Blood by Lucius Shepard, and then I want to finish Crashing Suns by Edmund Hamilton. And look how far I almost finished it. And then I just set it aside. Now, granted, this, while it's kind of presented as a novel, it's because there's the Interstellar Patrol. It's a variety of stories about the Interstellar Patrol. It's a lot of fun, but they're kind of repetitive, these stories. Each time the menace gets bigger. First it's a sun, then it's a nebula, then it's a comet the size of a solar system. Anyway, it's crazy stuff. It's from the late 1920s, I believe, maybe into the 30s, uh, when we were just beginning to learn about the fact that there were galaxies beyond our galaxy. That the whole universe was not just one galaxy. So it's all about, in its 1920s kind of way, the mind expanding scope of the universe, plus just trashy science fiction adventure. So anyway, I can easily finish that soon. And then I've got what I got for Christmas, this Vikings Dawn. I read 2 chapters of it, was having a great time, but then jumped to something else. And then I've been wanting to I've been buying Clifford D. Simak books. I've a long time ago read Way Station and one other Simak book that I really liked. So I've always meant to read more. And so I've really been wanting to get to that. So I'm going to prioritize some Clifford Simak soon. Of course, I've got the Rogers Zelazny and all that I've talked about before to get to. And actually, okay, I don't have it in front of me, but I also started Wuthering Heights because of, let me find his name because I know him by a different name normally, because of Libro Paradiso talking about Wuthering Heights being the book that got him into reading. And I've never read Wuthering Heights. I just sort of missed it. And so I started it, and at least the beginning was very funny, and I meant to keep going. I started a week or two ago, and so I'm going to get back. That's also one from last year, kind of last year, maybe this year. Anyway, it's one that I want to continue with to make a priority. What genre do you want to read more of? And again, being a butterfly reader, I probably won't stick with it, but I want to read more history. But precisely, to be exact, I want to read more Renaissance history. I've just read 2 Renaissance books, 2 books about the Renaissance. Both involving Leonardo da Vinci. So, and maybe I should talk about that on another video. But and I want to explore more what was going on, especially in Renaissance Italy, but Renaissance Europe in general. Kind of a fascinating era, still pretty darn barbaric. Not a not all just a flowering of civilization. Let's put it that way. From the little glimpses I've had so far. Um, Name some non book related goals for 2024. So I I made a New Year's resolution which I already haven't kept, but it's not too late, right? You fall down and you get back up again. I want to do at least one drawing a day in my sketchbook or somewhere else. I am taking a weekly drawing class which was delayed this week because of weather. um, but it will start again next week. So that's been really great, but that's like kind of paying someone to force me to draw. So blank pages. There's a few pages at the beginning here that me and my daughter used to write stuff. I guess like here's a sketch I did a million bazillion years ago, and some of it, and then a little one by my daughter there. Anyway, so maybe after doing this video, I will do my first drawing of January 2024, and maybe from there on, I'll get into the habit of doing at least one drawing a day. I want to start by practicing drawing hands. That's like the hardest thing to do, right? Or not, or one of the hard things to do. So yeah, that's another sillier goal is to, well, not silly, but even further away from bookishness is to try to eat more protein every day. I love carbohydrates. I love whole wheat bread and rye bread and stuff like that. And I need to um, see whether if I increase the level of protein in my diet, I will get in better shape. I'm also exercising a lot, so maybe more protein will make more progress in the exercise. What's a book you've had forever, but you still need to read? So I took a quick look at some shelves, and the first one that I thought, well, I've had that a long time and I need to read it, is this Paul Auster, In the Country of Last Things. So thanks to this tag for making me look, I will probably be reading Paul Auster this year, or maybe pretty soon. It's a nice thin book. I appreciate that. I have only read one other Paul Auster book a long time ago. It was called The Music of Chance, and I enjoyed it up to a point. But the weird thing is, I only remember the beginning of the book, so I kind of wonder if my interest in it petered out as it went along. Like it seemed really cool at first, with this guy sort of driving around the country by chance, and then he ends up at a mansion of some rich people, and then I can't remember what happened. So I could reread The Music of Chance, but we'll see if I like In the Country of Last Things. It says the masses are homeless, theft is so rampant it's no longer a crime, and death, by arranging either a suicide or assassination, is the only way out. Sounds sounds like our society could become like that, sadly. Um, so it's a bit of a, even though Paul Auster's kind of I thought kind of a surrealist, it's a bit of a science fiction novel, perhaps. We'll see. Um, so yeah, that's one of those books. One word or phrase describing 2024. Oh God, bad weather. But if I were to describe 2024 in terms of booktube, exciting new adventures. That's what books give us, right? And I'm definitely excited for these that I've shown you in many other adventures. Okay, while I'm on the video, so I was visiting my mom who lives in Connecticut where I grew up, but she doesn't live in the house where I grew up. She moved into a retirement village. Uh-oh, if I go like that, I'll get balloons again. Oh, it didn't catch it that time. Good. She lives in a retirement village. She still has some of the books. She had to just give away an enormous number of books because my dad, who died in particular, hoarded a lot of books. Many of them related to his professional life. But anyway, she wanted to give me this Picasso book. She figured I was the only one in the family who'd be interested in a book about art. And so it's a when was it published? Sometimes you can't find the date so easily. 1956. So it's a book from 1956. It was probably a fairly new book when she got it. So it has a lot of nice, it must have been an expensive book for the times to have all these color plates in it and a lot of black and white illustrations too. So unlike some of these old art books, it's full of art. And maybe I'll read up about Picasso. But I love looking at it. Picasso is a favorite artist of mine, just because of his endless inventiveness, and he just seemed to have just the right touch in whatever sort of style he chose to do. But I looked in here, and there was a kind of what's the word? Back in the old days when we gave people books for presents, we always wrote a note inside the book. So there's a bit of a note in here from somebody to my mother, and it says, "Congratulations, 1957." And that might have been the year my mom graduated from high school. I'm not sure. Or maybe college. Maybe that's the year she graduated from college. I don't know. Anyway, she was, but it turns out this was given to her by an ex-boyfriend. Now she says, well, but really we were just friends. It didn't connect romantically. But he was an artist. And so I guess if it did connect romantically, then I would not be here to tell you about it. Uh, but then she mentioned in passing, and he unfortunately was too short. So women of her generation, at least, were not going to marry a man shorter than themselves. Um, that always seemed kind of criminal to me, and maybe that's still true. I think my wife might not have married me if I was shorter than her, or she might not have ever got to know me if I was shorter than her. Or maybe she was just joking when she said that once. But anyway, here's to heightism going away, and maybe in 2024. Talk to all of you guys later. Bye bye.